The path from screenwriter to director is not always easy. Just because you're good at doing screenplays doesn't mean you'll be good behind the camera. We've been talking to very accomplished British screenwriter Jeremy Brock about his recent foray into directing. We caught up with Jeremy Brock on a promotional tour for Driving Lessons. The film is a coming-of-age story starring Rupert Grint, also known as Ron Weasley of Harry Potter fame.
I'm so proud of Ben. He's found a job helping a retired actress.
Grint plays Ben, influenced by both his mother, a religious fundamentalist, and an actress who lives in his North London neighbourhood, who's inspirational, filling him with ideas.
For a boy of 17, you show a lamentable lack of curiosity.
This is a rites of passage story about a young boy, Ben, lives alone with his parents, very controlling mother, and he is a bit of a poet manqué who stumbles onto a job with a rather extraordinary iconoclast called Evie, who happens to be an old soap actress with grand kind of ideas of herself.
My sister, my sister.
Oh, my dear orchard. My sweet and lovely orchard.
This character, Evie, played by Julie Walters, she's quite a wild, unconventional creature. Yeah. And that really antagonizes Ben's mother, played by Laura Linney. What is it that Laura Linney's character is alarmed about?
I think Laura Linney's character, the mother, is a very controlling character, but also in some ways quite infantile. And what Evie represents is something that she can't control, and also she's exposing Ben to ideas, to poetry, to the freedom to lie, for example. Concepts which Laura, as the mother, as an evangelist, would consider immoral, which Evie would consider simply part of life's rich tapestry. And I think that what Laura fears, the mother, is ultimately she fears losing her son, losing control of him. And she's right to.
When you went with that actress, you left God's house.
This is Rupert Grint's first major role outside the Harry Potter franchise. It was a positive collaboration for both Grint and Brock. It proved that the young actor could do more than play Ron Weasley, and it helped bring attention to Brock's transition from screenwriting to director. It must have been a bit worrying for you casting Rupert Grint, because he's untested as a leading man, so to speak, isn't he?
Yes, although I think if you watch him in the Harry Potter films, you realise that he has genuine presence. You feel that you want to watch him. And when I talked to him about the script and saw how much he got it, I actually didn't worry that much about whether exposing him that much on camera and in the film would be a concern for the audience. I just felt that he has natural charisma. And he's also a very talented natural actor.
Brock co-created Casualty, Britain's long-running TV drama that went on the air in 1986. Recognition in cinema came later, 9 years ago, as screenwriter of Mrs. Brown, starring Judi Dench as Queen Victoria. Now his work as co-screenwriter of the picture The Last King of Scotland, a dramatisation starring Forrest Whitaker as Ugandan leader Idi Amin, has raised his profile more. Of course, his directing of Driving Lessons has brought him further recognition too. Did you somehow feel that your career wouldn't be complete unless you directed?
Yes. Yes, I did. I've nursed the ambition to direct for a long time. And I think that what ultimately did it for me was watching directors I've worked with, particularly John Madden, and seeing how they handled actors and really just wanting to take the next step and get to the point where, having written the scene, I actually see the thing through to its completion. Because editing is a joy for a writer, actually. It's writing post hoc as opposed to pre hoc, and it's all there, and you're working in the same vein as you are when you're writing, actually.
We should probably think about turning back soon.
I don't drive.
I'm strictly forbidden to drive a car without a qualified motorist in the vehicle.
You really do know all the rules.
Brock has spent time in Hollywood doing work as a script doctor, fixing other people's screenplays. But telling British stories is what he seems to want to do. Why is it, do you think, are there such bland and, many people would say, boring stories coming from Hollywood these days?
Well, I think there's various issues. There is the age-old problem of the writers being hired and fired to such a degree that there stops being a voice, there stops being a vision, a point of view. And having seen a little of that myself, you get given such strange briefs when you're brought on board as a rewriter. Very rarely are you asked to, you know, give your vision to the film. Usually you're told, there's a problem there, fix that. And I think that notion of fixing problems is partly to blame. And secondly, I think there's too much second-guessing what an audience is going to like, and too much safe ground repeat. So we know that that TV series worked. Let's make a film version of it. It's a no-brainer.
My assistant is missing in action. When you find him, I'll be downstairs at La Brasserie Écosse. Thank you.
Some people are wicked.
She isn't wicked.
She's an actress.
Is Driving Lessons any good? Based partly on Jeremy Brock's own experiences growing up, which I suspect were less dramatic externally, but more complicated and interesting internally than what's in the film, his characters seem broadly drawn. The religious mother, the beaten-down husband and father, the eccentric older woman, all play out without much shading. It's hard to connect with their humanity, or lack of it.
She's a dame.
There is an interesting subtext in this picture, the clash between secular and religious values. But it's a shame it's not more developed. The acting is uneven. Julie Walters lapses in and out of caricature of the type of batty woman that she is playing. But Jeremy Brock does deserve congratulations for the way he's written Ben, giving the character some subtlety and complexity. And Rupert Grint deserves praise too for acquitting himself so well in what is his first major acting job.